Suspense Radio USA brings you all the known available Suspense episodes all day, every day. Here's another classic right now.
Suspense. Hushed voice, and the prowling step in the dead of night. The crime that is almost committed. The stir of nerves at the ticking of the clock. The rescue that might be too late, or the murderer who might get away. Mystery and intrigue and dangerous adventure. We invite you to enjoy stories that keep you in suspense.
For Suspense, tonight we present The Body Snatchers by John Dixon Carr.
Beware of the body snatcher who prowls after dark. Beware of the graves he robs. Beware of the murders he commits to provide new corpses for the doctors.
Up to the year 1832, the body snatchers terrorized England. According to the law, only 4 bodies a year could legally be supplied to the surgeons for anatomical study. And even these were a monopoly granted to the Barbers and Surgeons Company of London. But the study of surgery had to go on. In hundreds of medical schools all over England, perfectly reputable doctors were compelled to buy bodies and ask no questions. In 1828, burst the scandal of Burke and Hare, who found grave robbing too slow and murdered 16 persons in order to supply Dr. Knox of Edinburgh. And so, out of basic good purpose, sprang the evil of
the body snatcher.
Turn back the clock now to a cold night just 110 years ago. Look into the brick kitchen of a house on Wandsworth Common, not far from London. There, in the light of a tallow dip, sits old Mother Slade in her draggled bonnet.
What's a keeping 'em? 2 hours. 2 mortal hours by the Dutch clock. And they're not here yet.
Mother Slade?
And the graveyard not half a mile off. And once I thought I heard church bells ring. And one...
Mother Slade, did you call?
No, my girl, I did not call.
But I thought I...
And what are you doing up at this hour, my girl?
I was only locking up, Mother Slade.
Ain't it enough to have taken you over from a good-for-nothing mother not worth the gunpowder to blow her up?
Please, Mother Slade.
And given you a good home and brought you up practically like a lady with only the housework to do?
I'm sorry, Mother Slade. Only I wish you wouldn't talk like that about me own mother.
And what do you do, Peggy Lester? You stop up until this hour. You mislay me snuff box 20 times a day.
I was only going to say, I thought I heard a horse and cart in the lane.
In our lane?
Yes, Mother Slade. There it is now.
Yes. Easy, my dears. Drive easy with the merchandise. The doctors don't like it if you bump the merchandise.
Merchandise, Mother Slade? What's that?
I'll tell you what it is, my girl.
I didn't mean anything, Mother Slade.
It's your Uncle Matt and your cousin Rob are coming home from their business. That's what it is. You hear that, Peggy Lister?
I didn't mislay your snuff box. It's on the table.
And if you don't want me to take my fingernails to you instead of a strap, you get on up to bed this minute, do you?
Yes, Mother Slade.
I'm a-comin', my dears. Don't be impatient. I'm a-comin'. Nasty dim light this candle gives. Oh, old Mother Slade has got the rheumatics so cruel she can hardly move. Just pull back the bar, open the door. Wilmette, Did you get it?
Did we get it? Strike me blind, but that's a good one, ain't it, Rob?
Stow the gad, can't you? Get inside and close the door.
They ain't after you.
Ain't they? Can't you hear anything?
I thought I heard church bells.
More like a perishing funeral bell, if you asks me.
Take it easy, Rob. Take it easy. We've shaken them off.
Have we? I wish I was as certain as some people. The spades and sack is still in the cart.
Let them stay. Who's a-coming to find them?
Then you didn't get it after all, you thick-skull pair.
Now, don't you start a-blaming us.
Now, you shut your potato trap, Mother Slade, or Matt'll make you shut it.
What happened?
I'll tell you what happened. We was too quick, that's what. The girl was only buried this afternoon.
The sooner the better, my dear. What's the good of the merchandise if it ain't fresh, eh?
You hold your noise and listen. We left the horse and cart outside, like we always do. We creeps up to the lich gate of the churchyard. Walk softly, Matt. Walk softly, Rob, in your oily beaver hat and neckcloths, under the starlight and the white frosted elms. Take care of the graves, too. Spring guns may be set in some of them to protect the dead from marauders. And if the coffin is one of those new iron ones, all your labor will be in vain. Open the gates softly. Don't make such a bloody row with them shovels.
I can't help it. I'm loaded down with all this stuff.
Oh, and who'll do all the work when we do get there? I will.
Matt,
Aye?
listen.
I can't hear nothing except your teeth a chattering.
Matt, there's other people besides us in this here churchyard.
Aye, 200 or 300 deaders. But they won't bother us.
I means living people.
Don't talk soft.
Somebody's got a dark lantern. I seen it flash past the gravestones.
Oh? Where?
Can't you see it now? It's a-coming straight toward us.
Yes, I see him. Come on.
They've seen us, Matt.
Stop thieving, devil. Let him have it, lad.
Easy does it, Rob. Down beyond the gravestones. Crouch down. They can't shoot through stone.
Matt, it says here, sacred to the memory
It's
of...
the girl's relatives. They've been watching her grave.
All the big boys. They want to get out now, they'll have to climb the wall.
Oh, Struth.
If only I had me Barkers. First time in 2 years I've gone without a brace of pistols, and this happened.
But you ain't got your barkers, Matt Patterson.
I got what's just as good. Give me a shovel.
What are you going to do?
Charge 'em. This here shovel's got a nice edge.
Are you daft?
They'll have to take time out to reload, won't they? Hear that? Somebody started the bell. That'll bring down every peeler within a mile. If you want a tithing ticket and a neck in a rope, stop where you are. But if you don't want to get scragged before your time, follow me. That's all there is to it, Mother Slade. We went out by the gate, and blow me if they could stop us.
You perishing numbskulls. Did they recognize you?
No. We had our neckerchiefs around our eyes.
And did you do it?
I don't know. There's blood on the shovel.
No, there ain't, Mother Slade. I wiped it off.
Anyway, we're here. What I want now is a Christian fire to sit by, and a drop of spirits to warm my stomach.
There's no spirits in the house, Matt Patterson.
Don't you lie to me, you ugly mouth.
Let go me hand, Matt Patterson. I'm warning
You better
you.
let it go, Matt.
Yeah.
There's no spirits. Only half a loaf of bread. Don't I know it? I haven't tasted a drop of gin all day, and the black dog's on me back.
Well,
Hark at what I say. The doctor was promised a corp tonight. All right, dearie, he gets a corp tonight.
Oh, there's that funeral bell again.
what's the clock, old hag? Come on, spit it out.
A nice young corp without any trouble or bother.
Aye.
What about young Peggy upstairs?
Strike me blind.
What about it, eh?
You'd have to be mighty careful.
Why?
You'd have to smother her with a pillow while I sit on her legs. That's what Burke and Hare done up in Edinburgh. Then you don't leave any marks on them. See?
You're off a tick. Wait. What?
If the doctors see they've been polished off, just plain murdered, they won't have nothing to do with it. Leastwise, they don't like it.
Like it or not, dearie, they all do.
Who's buying the beef tonight?
Dr. George Arnold.
Him? The young fella out Fulham Way?
That's the man, dearie.
But I thought he was too pious and holy to play.
That's what Dr. Arnold thought, too, till they started putting the screws on him at Bart's College. No corp, they said to him. No lecture. No lecture, no students. It all comes to it, dearie, sooner or later.
What beats me is why they got to have these bodies. You'd think the doctors killed enough people as it is, without buying them after they was dead.
Don't you question the ways of Providence, Matt Pedersen.
You can't do it, Matt. You can't do it, Mother Slade.
You stow that noise, Bob Prentice.
Do you want to wake the poor girl upstairs?
But you can't do it. This cove Arnold, he knows her.
Arnold knows who.
He knows Peggy. Peggy fair worships the ground he walks on.
Oh.
He set her arm once when Mother Slade broke it, accidental like, and she can't forget him. What's Arnold going to think when he opens up the sack and he finds
What
his...
can Arnold do? He's bought her, ain't he? He can't go to the police and say he's bought her.
Peggy Lester.
Don't do it, Mother Slade, don't do it.
And how do you two thickheads know what Mother Slade is going to do?
You're going to kill her, ain't you?
Peggy Lester.
I thought I heard her moving about upstairs.
You did, Mr. Milk and Water. She's on the stairs now.
Rob, you're the least to be depended on. Go out and fetch in the sack.
Don't do it. It'll bring us all bad luck.
Matt, you're a lad after me own heart. You stop where you are and do just as I tell you. Trim the candle. Let's have it all nice and snug.
What'll she bring, do you think?
15 guineas. Maybe 20. Maybe more.
20 guineas? Strike me blind. But this is a way of doing business that I like.
Listen. Did you call me Mother Slade?
That's right, my ducky. That's right, my little pet. Put your wrap around you and your slippers to keep your feet warm and come right down here to Mother Slade.
I'm coming, Mother Slade. I'm coming.
Who in those times would be a surgeon and still be an honest man? At that drugged hour of the night, look into the sitting room of a spacious house. Many candles are still alight there, though they have burned down nearly to their silver sockets. There is Chinese paper on the walls, and a turkey carpet underfoot. In front of the fire, now almost out, sits Dr. George Arnold with his bottle green coat and heavy hair.
Dr. Arnold, sir.
I beg your pardon, Mrs. Tancred.
Dr. Arnold, sir. It's gone 2 o'clock.
Yes, so it has.
You've got a lecture to deliver tomorrow, and you'll be all worn out. Why don't you go on up to bed?
Mrs. Tancred.
Yes, sir?
You're a jewel of a housekeeper. I admire you, and I can't do without you, but would you please go away and let me alone?
Oh, sure, I'm very sorry, sir. No offense intended.
Stop. I shouldn't have said that. I'm thinking too much, perhaps.
And smoking too many cigars, if you'll excuse me.
Why must they keep tolling that bell at East Hill Church? Why must they keep it up all night?
Well, sir, Elsie says the parson told them to do it. Elsie?
Wait. Who is Elsie?
Dr. Arnold, sir. I know you're always up in the clouds, mooning over books and whatnot, but I did think you'd recognize the name of your own parlour maid.
Oh, that Elsie. I see. Well?
Elsie says it's because of the murder in the churchyard.
What murder?
2 resurrection men. Body snatchers, sir. Oh, you wouldn't know anything about such people.
No, of course not.
They were caught trying to rob a grave, but they got away. One of them was a horrible big fella. Split Willie Kendrick's head open with the edge of a shovel. Is anything wrong, sir?
No, not exactly.
Well, I thought for a second, seeing how you looked.
Did they get the body?
Yes, sir. It was Willie Kendrick. His head was split open with a shovel.
No, I mean, did these resurrection men get what they were after?
No, sir.
Thank God.
Oh, you may well say that, Doctor.
I wasn't exactly speaking in the religious sense, but never mind.
Well, Elsie says there are what she calls peelers all over the place.
Peelers?
Yes, these new policemen. After Sir Robert Peel, and somebody from the new detective police that they're using instead of the Bow Street runners.
Well, Mrs. Tancred, I'm going to smoke one more cigar, and then I'm going to bed.
Very good, sir.
You see, sometimes you give orders, then it's too late to recall them. Whatever the medical practice is, you can't look your conscience in the face afterwards. Then, I can't tell you how or why, a miracle comes along and saves you, and you're free, What was that?
Sounds like a horse and cart in the drive, sir.
Mrs. Tancred.
Yes, Doctor?
Will you please go upstairs? Now make haste.
Well, if it's visitors, sir, or even a patient...
Mrs. Tancred, you heard my instructions. Obey them.
Sir, there's the front door
Yes,
bell.
I heard it. For the last time, go away. I will admit whatever visitors we have.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, dearie.
Oh, come into the sitting room here, Mrs. Slade.
La, sir. Just call me Mother Slade. It don't hardly seem natural or friendly to hear anything else. It's a pleasure to curtsy to you, Doctor. Coo. What a lovely room.
I suppose...
Your candles is going out, though. One by one. Poof. Then you'll be in the dark.
I suppose you've come to report failure.
Failure, dearie?
I understand you didn't get what you went after.
Bless you, dearie. We got something just as good. Finest piece of merchandise you ever saw.
You haven't got it here.
Bless you, dearie. Mother Slade always keeps her word. Bring the merchandise in, my dears, so the doctor can see it.
Quiet, please.
Oh, of course, dearie, I forgot.
Sometimes it's a bad
The big fella with the black eyebrows is Uncle Matt. The little fella with the watery eyes is Cousin Rob. And between them, in that sack, they're carrying...
Well, who is it in the sack?
19-year-old girl, dearie. Finest anatomical specimen you ever saw.
Merciful.
Where do you want this here thing dumped, Governor?
Easy now, Matt.
Why did you bring it here?
That's where you told us to bring it, dearie.
I mean, why did you bring it to the front door? Why not to the surgery?
Only place in the house where there was lights, Governor. Hurry up now. Where do you want it?
Well, take it...
Yes, dearie?
Take it over and put it in the cupboard there, where I'm pointing.
This cupboard here, sir.
Yes, then close the cupboard door.
Shame on you two. Tracking your muddy boots over the doctor's lovely turkey carpet. Easy, my dears, easy now.
All right, Robin, she goes.
Don't bruise the merchandise. Whatever you do, don't bruise the merchandise.
Right, me blind, what's the odds? She can't feel it now. Here's your body, Mr. Sawbones. Now, let's see your money.
Well, just one moment before I give it to you.
There ain't no itch in this, is there? Better not be.
No, I made a bargain with you, and I'll stick to it.
Thank ye. That's uncommon genteel of you.
Kindly stand back, sir. You're 2 stone of fat heavier than I am, and you don't impress me.
Easy, Matt. Take it easy.
I want to ask only one question. Where did you get that body?
That's a question, dearie, what people in your profession don't ask.
Why not?
'Cause they don't dare. That's why.
Would the police be interested in where you got the body?
No, dearie. Not half so interested in as where we brought it. To your house. It's your responsibility now.
Yes, I suppose it is. The victim wouldn't be, by any chance, that pretty little girl you used to treat so unmercifully?
You hold your noise about how I treated her.
I was rather fond of Peggy.
Strike me blind. I think the Sawbones...
Oh, get out of this house, all of you. Go on, get out.
Not without that money, dearie. It's 20 guineas now.
There's money on the table under that newspaper. Take what you want, and get out of here before I...
Oh, what was that?
Aye. What was it?
A late visitor, I imagine.
Was you expecting anybody? Eh?
No.
Don't drop the lovely money, Rob. Don't drop it all over the carpet. Pick it up.
Is there a back way out of here?
Yes, it's the way you should have come. Through that arch and down the passage.
Thank you for the rhino, Governor. And no games, mind you, if you know what's good for you.
Good night, dearie. Remember, you've got the body now.
Yes. I've got the body now. Poor little devil.
Dr. Arnold, sir?
In heaven's name, Mrs. Tancred, haven't you gone to bed yet?
I had to get up, sir, to answer the bell.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry.
Why, Dr. Arnold, what's the matter with you?
Matter?
You're as white as a ghost, and you're almost crying.
Am I? Well, we must remedy that.
Oh, it's so dark in here, I could barely see you sitting there. The candles going out, one after another. Nothing but smoke and an ugly smell of grease, and that cupboard door.
What about that cupboard door?
I always declare, sir, it won't keep shut without any latch or bolt, if you'll excuse the liberty.
Mrs. Tancred, keep away from that cupboard.
Dr. Arnold, sir. Are you ill or anything?
No, but keep away from that cupboard. Who rang the bell?
Oh, dear, I was almost forgetting. It's that man Elsie was talking to us about.
What man?
The officer of the detective police, sir. He wants to see you.
Well, I'll see him, but in some other room, not here. It's as you say, there's not enough light.
Not a bit of it, Doctor, not a bit of it. Never too dark, as you might say, where the police are concerned.
I couldn't help it, sir. He must have followed me down the hall.
Are you...
That's right, Doctor. I'm Stalker at your service, Inspector Stalker.
Well, how do you do, Inspector? Mrs. Tancred, you may go.
Oh, by your leave, sir. I'll just get some more candles and put them in that bracket by the cupboard. It's not in use.
No, you needn't trouble.
It's no trouble, sir. Excuse me.
First of all, Doctor, I must apologize for intruding as late as this.
Not at all, Inspector. Will you be seated?
Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. Now, I dare say you're wondering why I'm here.
Oh, yes, I am, rather.
It's a bad business, Doctor. A very bad business.
You mean the murder in the churchyard?
Oh, you've heard about it.
Well, my housekeeper said something about a man being killed with a shovel.
That's right, Doctor. Not much doubt about who did that.
No?
No. The little fella dropped his dark lantern with the initials on it. They're professional body snatchers. We've had our eye on them for a long time. Speaking of body snatchers, Doctor...
Well?
I expect this anatomy law is pretty hard on you surgeons.
It's an infamous law, sir.
All the same, Doctor, it is the law.
Yes.
And if any surgeon happened to be caught with a body, especially a murdered body...
What are you hinting at?
Oh, nothing, Doctor, nothing. By your leave, I only want to ask a question.
Well?
What time did your friends leave? Now, come, Doctor. As one man of the world to another, do you see any green in my eye? You are not going to say you had no guests when their horse and cart are still at your front door.
They didn't get away.
No, Doctor, they didn't. They made a little reception committee as they left by the back door. Darbies on the wrists. Snap. Just as I might reach out and touch your wrist. Like this.
What do you mean by darbies?
Handcuffs. I've got a pair in my pocket. Gags into their mouths. That's to keep them from biting.
Look, do we have to go on with this? You already seem to know everything I could tell you.
Not exactly everything. I don't know, for instance, where you've hidden the girl's body.
You're a very diligent man, Inspector Stalker.
Thank you, sir. I try to do my duty.
You said a girl?
These gin-muddled degenerates have been watched every second since they left East Hill churchyard. They hadn't a body then, but they brought one here. And there's only one other person who lives in the same house with them.
Dr. Arnold, sir?
Mrs. Tancred, listen to me.
Yes, sir?
Must you always break in with the most completely ill-timed entrances at all the worst period of my life?
I was only trying to be helpful, sir.
That's right, madam. Always be helpful.
You had to have some light. Here's the candles, sir. 5 of them, in a big candelabrum. We can hang them in the bracket.
Ma'am, hold up that light. Hold it high.
Really, sir? I'm not in the habit of being spoken to as...
Hold it high, I tell you.
Do as the inspector tells you, Mrs. Tancred.
This is a very fine carpet you've got here, Doctor.
Yes, others have admired it tonight.
But it oughtn't to have footprints on it. Muddy footprints. Footprints leading from the door, past the sofa, past the hearth, over to
that cupboard. Quite correct.
I think that's done it, Dr. Arnold.
I think it has, Inspector Stalker.
He couldn't have proved anything against you for that churchyard business, but this...
Let me open Bluebeard's cupboard, Inspector. Let me be the first to show you what's inside. You wanted a certain body. It appears you've come to the right place. Now, look.
Lord Almighty.
I'm the body, Mr. Police. Standing up, I'm very much alive. And I'm wearing a nice new dress that the doctor gave me.
That I gave you?
Don't say anything. Please don't say anything.
Stop a bit, miss. Aren't you Peggy Lester?
Yes. Just because the doctor has to be so terribly respectable and a girl who's fond of him has to come here in secret.
Wait a minute, everybody. Peggy Lester, you're lying.
I am not lying.
So that's it. Why didn't I guess it? It's the oldest body snatcher's trick in the world.
Is it?
Of course, the old pinchpenny like Mother Slade couldn't sacrifice a good household drudge. Of course they brought the body here, instead of taking it to the surgery, where it might get locked up.
Could you be persuaded, Inspector, to tell us just what you're talking about?
The body snatcher, sir.
Well, what about them?
They take a living accomplice and put him into a sack and sell him to a green doctor as a dead man.
Yes, but see here,
They get the best price they can. Then in the middle of the night, that accomplice gets up and robs the doctor's house. And the doctor can't tell us because he's bought illegal goods.
I never intended to go through with it.
No, young woman?
I tell you, I wasn't going to rob the house. They made me do this. I was going to tell Dr. Arnold. When I found out where they were taking me, I pretended to go through with it so I could warn the doctor. They can hurt so much, you'll agree to almost anything.
Oh, that sounds like the truth, but it puts me in a funny position and no mistake.
Well, your three murderers, Inspector, seem to be leaving.
Yes, they're leaving right enough. Trussed up like fowls and under guard.
Does anybody go with them?
Well, how can anybody go with them? I'm willing to believe this girl acted under threats. She's committed no crime. And I don't for the life of me see how we can touch you.
Can't touch me?
No, sir. And confound you for making me lose a night's sleep. There's no body. You didn't even buy a body. Will you tell me, Doctor, just what crime you've committed?
And so ends The Body Snatchers, a story of London at midnight, 100 years ago. And tonight's story of suspense. Columbia presents these tales of mystery and intrigue and dangerous adventure for your relaxation and enjoyment. Next Tuesday, there will be another in this series. Same hour, 9:30 Eastern Wartime. William Spear, the producer, John Dietz, the director, Alexander Semler, the composer, conductor, and John Dixon Carr, the author, are collaborators on Suspense.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Now, let's get back to tales well calculated to keep you in suspense. Suspense Radio USA.
Suspense.
Roma wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
Salud. Your health, senor.
Roma wines toast the world. The wine for your table is Roma wine, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
This is the man in black, here for the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California, to introduce this weekly half hour of Suspense. Tonight from Hollywood, Roma Wines bring you as star Mr. Gene Kelly in a suspense play that tells of fear and suspicion and dangerous adventure on the long highway from California to New York. And so, with Death Went Along for the Ride, and with the performance of Gene Kelly as a man named George Javery, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
To 314?
Yes, sir.
I want a room.
The name, sir?
George Javery, but I haven't got a reservation.
Oh? Well, I think we can fix you up, Mr. Javery, if you'll sign, please.
Sure.
Excuse me, friend.
Yes?
I couldn't help hearing your name, Javery.
Oh, that's right.
In relation to Frank Javery of Cincinnati?
Oh, not that I know of.
Oh. Kind of a funny name. No offense, you understand, but I just thought, you know.
Sure, I know.
Been doing quite a lot of traveling, haven't you, Mr. Javery?
Huh?
I see all them stickers on your bags.
Oh, yes, I've been out of the country.
Room 610, $450 a day. Will that be all right, Mr. Javery?
Sure.
You, gonna stay in Reno very long?
Just overnight.
Going east?
Uh-huh.
You driving?
Yeah. Say, what do you want to know?
Thought I'd tip you off to a good place to eat, see? You like steaks?
When I can get them.
Better stop at Harry's place, then. Best steaks between here and Chicago. Here's the address. I wrote it down for another fellow this morning, but he left before I could give it to him.
Oh, well, thanks.
You, driving back east alone?
Yes. Say, what did you say your name was?
I didn't, but it's Brown. Steve Brown.
Well, look, Mr. Brown, if you want a free ride east, why don't you just...
Me? No. I'm heading up to Portland, see?
Oh, well, have a good trip, Mr. Brown.
Same to you, Mr. Javery.
Thanks.
Don't forget to stop at Harry's place, Mr. Javery. I think you'll find it a very interesting spot. Very interesting.
Mr. Javery.
What is it?
Did you notice a fellow with only one arm?
No, where?
I didn't think you did. He said he was a friend of yours, but don't have nothing to do with him, Mr. Javery. He's no friend of yours. He's no friend of anybody. Don't have nothing to do with him.
Oh, here's your drink, Mr. Javery.
Thanks.
Oh, did your friend find you, Mr. Javery?
What friend?
One-armed fella. He was looking for you. He said I should keep my eye out for you. A one-armed man, Mr. Javery? I know. There's no guest at the hotel that answers that description.
I tell you, I seen him coming out of your room, Mr. Javery. I don't know how he got in there, but I seen him coming out.
You heard me. I'm checking out.
If there's anything wrong...
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. I'm just checking out, that's all.
But at 3 o'clock in the morning...
Look, I said I'm checking out. Now, please get my bags out to the car. Just put them in the back of the car.
Yes, sir.
Now, look, kid, for the last time, do you know?
I don't know nothing, Mr. Javery. Honest, I don't know nothing.
Okay, here.
Gee, look, here he comes now.
Hey, wait a minute.
Thanks, Mr. Javery.
You, going east, mister?
Oh, it's you, huh? Say, what's the big idea?
What big idea?
Now, listen to me, my one-armed friend.
I can't help having one arm, mister.
All right. But what's the idea of following me around? You've been following me ever since I got here.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, mister.
So am I. Now, what about it?
Well, you see, I'm kind of down on my luck, so I'm hitchhiking. I gotta get east, and I heard you were going east, so... You are going east, ain't you, mister?
Well, yes. Yes, I am.
Do you mind if I come along a piece?
Oh, all right, hop in. Say, there's one thing you haven't explained to me yet.
What's that?
What were you doing in my room? Hitchhiking?
I was never in your room.
The bellboy said he saw you come out.
I don't know what he said, but I was never in your room.
Oh. It's kind of late to start driving, I guess.
I don't mind. I'm used to night work.
Oh. Say, I don't think I got your name.
Jones. One-armed Jones, they call me mostly.
You traveling far, Mr. Jones?
As far as St. Louis.
Uh-huh. Have you been in San Francisco lately?
No, I came by way of San Diego. Why do you ask, Mr. Javery?
Oh, nothing. I thought I might have seen it.
What's the matter?
How did you know my name?
Your name? That's an old hitchhiker's gag. Hang around a hotel lobby and find out who's who and maybe where he's heading, see?
Yeah.
Say, there doesn't seem to be much traffic tonight, does there?
No. Are you looking for something?
Oh, just reaching for a cigar.
Get your hand out of your pocket.
I was...
Get it out, I said.
You don't have to pull a gun
out.
No?
All right, Mr. Jones. Come on, let's have it. What's your game?
Game?
Yeah, your game. Come on, spill it.
I don't get it.
Neither do I. I suppose you haven't been tailing me ever since I checked in at that hotel.
Well, I explained about the hitchhike.
Get out.
Out of the car?
You heard me.
Okay. But, Mr. Jamery...
What?
Don't be too surprised if you see me again sometime. Good night, Mr. Javery.
Tonight for Suspense, Roma Wines bring you as star Mr. Gene Kelly, whom you have heard in the prologue to Death Went Along for the Ride by Henry Denker and Ralph Berkey. Tonight's adventure in Suspense.
In this brief intermission in the play, let's imagine we're listening to a conversation taking place at the smart Coral Beach and Tennis Club in Bermuda. An American about to depart for the States thanks his Bermudian friend for the gracious hospitality shown him, and in particular for the especially enjoyable wine his friend served. He remarks how much he'd like to be able to get some of that same wine at home. The Bermudian chuckles as he says, "But my friend, that wine you enjoyed so much, it comes from the great wine districts of your own California. It is Roma wine." Yes, friends, many Americans are still not aware that Roma wines are so highly rated in many foreign lands that they are imported to be enjoyed as rare luxuries. But here in America, we can still enjoy these superb Roma wines as a daily pleasure, well within reach of the most modest purse, with no high import duty, no expensive shipping costs included. That's why Roma wines cost you so little. Have you been overlooking the enjoyment these richly satisfying Roma wines offer? As a delectable beverage at any time, as the addition that can make any meal an occasion, as a sure-to-be appreciated offering to your guests when you entertain. You get some idea of the great worth of these fine Roma wines when you learn Roma wines are America's largest selling wines. I'll spell the name for you. R-O-M-A, Roma wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
And now it is with pleasure that we bring back to our soundstage our star, Gene Kelly, as George Javery in Death Went Along for the Ride, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
All right, put him up. Come on, get him up and step out in front of those headlights where I can see you. Come on before I let you...
Shoot, mister.
Well, what do you want?
Not to get shot right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kind of jumpy, aren't you?
Yeah, maybe. Were you going into this joint here?
Well, I was.
Well, come on, I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
I think I earned it at that.
Well, howdy, folks. Good to see somebody out kind of late, eh?
Yeah. Black coffee, huh? How about you?
The same, I guess.
Look, I'm sorry I frightened you. Say, what's your name?
Eileen Harrison. What's yours?
George Javery. Say, what are you doing walking along 1,000,000 miles from no place at this time of night?
I started driving east in a $50 jalopy yesterday like a fool. It just fell apart on me. I was coming in here to phone or something.
Well, how far east you going?
Greenwich, Connecticut.
I'm going to New York myself. You're welcome. I mean, if...
Well, I've...
Oh, look, if you don't like me, you can always get out and start to walk again. What have you got to lose?
Well, all right. Thanks.
And I could use a little company right now.
Oh, here you are. Piece of pie? Piece of pie, bud?
Huh? Oh, no.
How about a hamburger? We got good hamburgers, you know. We got...
No. Just be quiet a minute, will you?
Be quiet?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Shh. Shut up now, the two of you.
Sure, anything you say.
Say, what's the matter with you?
I'm listening for something, that's all.
What?
There he comes.
Hey, where are you going?
That wasn't it.
You know, what's going on, bud? You hot or something?
No, there's a car out there. It's been following me for the last 200 miles.
Yeah? How'd you know?
I know it. I took a side road. He did, too. I tried to duck him, and he hung on. He kept following me. I'm sure that... Listen, that must be it now. He's not coming in. He's waiting.
For what?
Me. Look, Eileen, here are the keys to the car. Go out and drive it up the side entrance. I'll be waiting at the door.
All right.
No, go ahead. He won't hurt you. Hurry.
Okay.
Hey, mister, you ain't in trouble, are you? I don't want no trouble in my
keep your shirt on. You'll be all right. Here.
Don't you want your change?
No, keep it.
Hop in. I'll slide over.
Thanks. Look back now, there. See that other car follow us?
I don't think so. Just say, look, pal, I don't want to be nosy, but...
Eileen, I wouldn't kid you. I don't know what it is. Is anyone following us?
No, I don't think so. Oh,
lights.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's someone following us.
No? How fast are we going now?
About 60.
All right, watch.
Hey, please, be careful, George.
I'll be careful. Is he coming?
I think he's gaining on us.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, we'll see how much this guy wants to play.
He had a pretty big car, you know.
Yeah, I know. Is he still gaining?
He's closing up pretty fast.
Oh, I can't stand this much longer, and I'm going to do something about it.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to pull to one side, slam on the brakes, and see what happens.
George!
I'll force him into the ditch if I have to. It's what he's trying to do to us. Hang on.
George! He's passing! You're going to hit him!
I'm trying to! Come on, let's get out of here.
He must have been killed.
Yeah. Did you see him as we hit?
Just for a second.
You notice anything about him?
Not much.
Well, I did. He was a man with only one arm. This is that Harry's place that guy told me about. You sure you like steak?
Who doesn't?
Well, this is the place for you, then. Finest steaks this side of Chicago, they tell me. Come on.
A table for two, sir?
Yeah, please.
Right this way.
The whole thing amounts to this.
Might be. Right here. Here's a nice table right by the window.
That's fine, thanks.
And Madame?
Thank you.
2 steaks, please. Both medium rare. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
George, to get back to our little problem.
Our little problem?
All right, so it's your problem and I'm stuck with it. Are you sure you don't have any enemies?
How could I? I've been out of the country for over a year. I didn't have any when I left.
Well, could there be any connection with that work you were doing with the Chinese government?
Oh, not a chance. Well, look, I don't know any secret plans, and I'm no agent X9. Well, all that's out.
Well, maybe it's all just a coincidence.
Oh, sure. A one-armed guy tags me all over Reno, then says he's a poor hitchhiker. Then he acts like he's trying to pull a stick up, and then 100 miles beyond where I've dropped him, he shows up in a big Cadillac. Just a coincidence.
Call for Mr. Javery.
George,
Telephone for Mr. Javery. Call for George Javery.
Yeah. Another coincidence.
What do you suppose?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
George, don't.
Come on, we'll both go answer it.
Are you Mr. Javery?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. They've been trying to reach you all day.
All day?
Yes, this is about the 10th call we've had for you. The phone booth is right this way.
One little coincidence after another. Calling me all day at a joint I've never been in before in my life.
George, don't answer it.
Now, look, you just keep an eye out while I'm in the booth.
All right.
Oh, pardon me.
Why, of course.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Can I help you, sir?
Why, yes, I had a call on this wire. But...
I'm sorry, but your party seems to have disconnected. Did you call them?
No, forget it.
What was it, George?
Come on, let's go out to the car.
Well, what was it?
I don't know. Whoever it was, as soon as I answered, they hung up. Come on, there's a guy following us. The guy I bumped into at the phone booth. Oh, that's what that phone call was for. Get in the car, quick.
Here he comes.
Oh, Mr. Javery.
George is pointing something.
It's a camera.
Thanks, Mr. Javery.
Hey, what's the idea of taking pictures of me?
It's a hobby. I'll send you a print at the morgue.
Come on, George, have fun. This is one of the really bright spots of old Chicago.
Yeah, a little too bright.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we present direct from 10 weeks run in New York, the world-famed sharpshooter, Professor Glintenheimer.
This is going to be all right, George. He's good. I saw his act in Hollywood. He's quite a comedian.
Well, that's swell. A little comedy had come in handy now.
Oh, George, you promised me. Come on, relax.
Okay.
He shoots at the light bulbs, and whether he hits them or not, they always break.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, blindfolded.
He didn't even aim at it.
Sure, that's the point. Later he's going to shoot straight up and the bulb in the back of him will break.
And now over my shoulder, the left shoulder. No, there's the right shoulder. That's harder yet.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah. George, your glass, it's shattered.
Come on, Eileen, we're leaving.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, please. The performance will continue. Keep the seats, please. Oh, please wait, sir. Don't leave. I'm terribly sorry. Won't you stay and finish your dinner? Please, sir, our apologies. A most regrettable accident.
Yeah? Only it wasn't.
Wasn't?
Wasn't an accident. That comic up there shoots blank cartridges.
Well, of course, but...
Yes, and what broke my glass was a bullet. And it didn't come from the stage.
$1. Thank you.
Good old Bear Mountain Bridge. Well, we're almost there.
Yep. With any luck, we ought to be in New York by 10 o'clock.
And the way you've been driving, I don't see how anyone could have followed us.
Oh, why do you think I was driving that way?
Gee, it's a beautiful night. Look at that moon.
Yeah. Let's stop a minute.
Why?
Oh, I don't know, just to look down at the water.
All right.
It's been a long time since I've seen the old Hudson River. I guess I better turn off the lights. I'm not sure I'm allowed to stop in the middle of the bridge.
Come over here by the rail, George. Gosh, isn't it lovely?
Yeah, it really is. Oh, look at that boat down there. It looks a little... I wonder how far it is down to that water from here. Oh, I guess about 150 feet or so.
I'm awfully glad you decided to come this way. Why did you?
Oh, it's less traffic and not as many cars as on the George Washington Bridge or the tunnel, and, well, it's less chance of being spotted.
You still thinking of that?
That's kind of hard to forget, isn't it?
Just the same, I wish you would. It's not doing...
Look.
What?
It's a car, and it looks like he's going to pull up behind us.
George, you don't think...
I don't know, but if some monkey's looking for trouble, he's going to get it because I've had enough.
What are you going to do?
Now, look, I'll crouch down in front of the car here where he can't see me. He'll pull up behind us so his headlights will be on us if he's up to anything funny. Now,
he's beginning to pull over now.
Now, look, okay, you talk to him, stall him, then we'll see.
All right. But, George...
Hey, don't you know you're not allowed to stop in the middle of the bridge?
Why? I just stopped a minute to look at the water.
You alone?
Why, yes.
I thought I saw a man standing here with you just now.
No?
The California plates on your car, ain't they?
Yes, I just drove through from the coast.
Oh. You pick up any hitchhikers on the way? Anybody that looks like this?
Like what?
Like the guy in this picture.
Oh, that's the picture someone took at the...
I thought so. All right, sister, where is he?
Right here, bud.
George, look out, he's got a gun.
Why, you...
Now, let's see how good you are without a gun.
George, the railing, he's trying to throw you over. He's George!
Come on, kid, let's go. Well, we made it. Home at last.
Home? This is the Bancroft Hotel.
It's the only home I ever had in New York.
Boy, take these bags. Now, sir, if you leave the key, I'll have your car garage for you.
Yeah, sure. Here you are.
Thank you.
George, I could go home, you know.
What? Travel out to Connecticut this time of night?
It isn't that far.
Come on, you get a good night's rest right here. Then you can catch an early train in the morning.
Well, all right.
Yes, sir. You'll wish a room then, sir?
2 rooms, please.
Yes, sir. Will you sign here, please?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. George Javery.
What about it?
Nothing, sir. Only we have your reservations.
Reservation? But I... Oh, I get it. Another coincidence.
Sir?
Skip it.
George.
Eileen, look, maybe you're right. You better go on home.
George, you're coming home with me.
I'm sorry, Eileen, but this is journey's end, and I'm going to see it through.
Well, then, so am I.
Eileen.
Please, George.
Okay, come on. Well, what do you know?
What?
Our friend sitting over there by that post.
The man who took the picture.
Yeah. Last act coming up. Oh, clerk.
Yes, sir?
What room do I have?
706, sir.
That's fine. The lady?
Yes, sir. Room 614 for her. Front, boy.
This way, Mr. Javery.
Going up?
6, please.
George, shouldn't you call the police or something?
And tell them what?
Oh, I don't know.
Now, look, honey, you get a good night's sleep, I'll be okay. I mean, after all, this is New York.
6 out.
Good night, darling.
Good night.
Seven.
It's right this way, sir, to the left. Here we are, sir.
Just put the bags over there, son.
Will that be all, sir?
Yep, here you are.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, George Javery. Took you longer than I expected.
Brown, the man I met in Reno. What are you doing here?
Waiting for you. And the name ain't Brown, that's Javery.
Javery?
Yeah, George Javery. Javery, I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me.
What I've done for you?
Sure. You've been a great help.
All right, let's have it.
Look, Javery, you've come to the end of the road. But I think you're entitled to know why. You don't know me, do you? I'm Bill Malone.
Oh, Scarface Malone.
Yeah, only I don't have scars anymore, see? That's the point. Took me 2 years and a lot of pain to get a new face. But I didn't get it just to look good in a coffin. Know what I mean?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
After a guy in my business has been away for a year or two, he's not always welcome back, see? And he generally finds out about it with a bullet in the back. That's why you struck me as a good idea.
Oh, I did I?
Yeah. I don't believe in taking chances, see? The boys thought I was coming east under the name of George Javery.
Oh. So the one-armed guy and all the rest...
No, he was one of my boys. And you were kind of rough with him, Mr. Javery.
Well, he wasn't exactly playing beanbag himself.
Jerry, he wouldn't hurt you. I just sent him to tell you so I'd have a line on where you were. After you dusted him off, it was just a break for me that you went to that steakhouse. Otherwise, I might have lost you.
You're a candid cameraman, too, I suppose.
Yeah. After I lost Jerry, I figured I wouldn't take any chances. Send a picture around to the boys. Like the guy that took a pot at you in Chicago. And the guy you tossed over the bridge. The boys that were out to get me, see? Only they didn't know all the time it was you. No chances, know what I mean?
Yeah. Only I can't exactly say I'm glad to have been of service. So if you drop that gun, I'll go.
Not yet, Javery. There's just one thing more you can do.
Yeah?
Stand over by that window.
What for?
Stand over there and drop your hands. Boys wouldn't quite understand it if you had your hands up.
The boys?
Yeah. The ones I've been telling you about. When I pull up that shade, they're going to take a pot shot at me through that window. When they do, they'll get me. Only it'll be you. They'll never know the difference. Now, over to that window. They know you're already here, so move.
You, don't mind if I sort of stroll, do you? After all, this is a surprise.
Come on. Over to that window.
And if I don't?
I'll plug you.
And if I do? You see, Malone, that's the trouble with your system. No incentive. You know what
Don't make a move.
George, is anything wrong? George!
Get over there in that corner.
Don't hurt her, Malone.
He's going to lock the door, that's all. Taking no chances, see?
Then here's some light so you can see what you're doing.
What are you...
George! Oh, George!
Oh, it's all right, Arlene. It's all right, darling. No. Well, there lies our nemesis, the late Mr. Scarface Malone. Otherwise known as the guy who never took chances.
But he's dead.
Yeah, smart guy. But he made just one mistake. He forgot that the door is right in line of fire with the window.
George, what are you going to do?
I'm going to call the police and explain this little drama to them. After all, I think it's about time people stop taking pot shots at your future husband. Don't you?
And so closes Death Went Along for the Ride, starring Gene Kelly. Tonight's tale of suspense. Mr. Kelly appeared through courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of The White Cliffs of Dover.
When entertaining guests at your home, are you able to go into your Roma wine cellar and say, which would you prefer, this delightful sherry or this sweeter, heavier port? Whichever of these or any others of the many equally fine Roma California wines you offered your guests, they would find you had poured a world of satisfaction into their glasses. If you are not one of the millions already enjoying these good Roma wines, don't put off this great treat another day. You'll be surprised at the tiny cost your Roma wine dealer will ask for such great enjoyment. Only pennies a glass by actual check. Now you can boast of your own private wine cellar, your private Roma wine cellar. And then, inspired by the great qualities of Roma wines, you'll add your voice to the swelling international chorus that says, Roma wines are truly magnificent. Let me repeat the name, R-O-M-A, Roma Wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
This is Gene Kelly. I hope you enjoyed our suspense show this evening. I always feel that it's a pleasure and privilege for me to appear here because most of us who act for a living consider this to be radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Next week, I know you will want to be listening when your star will be Mr. Orson Welles, who will appear in The Dark Tower, a play written by those two very distinguished gentlemen, Alexander Wolcott and George S. Kaufman. And now just one more word. Fellow Americans, the attack for victory is on. You help make the victory more certain and bring it sooner when you buy more war bonds.
Suspense is produced and directed by William Spear. Next Thursday, same time, you will hear Orson Welles in Suspense.
Presented by Roma Wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
your favorite Suspense Radio episodes all day, every day. You're listening to Suspense Radio USA.